Hey out there, this is Kevin Strong with Strong Jacobs and Associates, and today is January 2nd, 2021. It is a Saturday. And in this video, I want to talk about housing. I want to talk about a coffee shop in California and why that's important in terms of we just can't get our priorities straight. And finally, last but not least, defunding the police. So without further ado, let's get into this. Housing information is still continuing to show a positive trend in terms of home prices going up. Year over year, the top three is Phoenix, that increased 12.7%. In my backyard, the greater Seattle came in at number 2 at 11.7%. And rounding out the top three is San Diego with 11.6%. Two key components, in my humble opinion, as to why this continues to happen is there's just basically a lack of inventory. And I've explained this once again, supply and demand. You have a small amount of homes that are available. So when something comes on the market and you've got this pent up demand to purchase a home, that's going to push the housing prices up. So I think that's a factor. And I think the other major factor is historic low interest rates. But once again, there's a lot of people that are in mortgage forbearance, millions of people that sooner or later either going to have to requalify for that mortgage, get a loan modification. And if two of the aforementioned are to no avail, then they're going to be looking at foreclosure. And a lot of people, and I do mean a lot of people, are not in a position to afford the house that they're currently living in. And even if they have to eventually be forced out of their house and go rent, a lot of people's wages and income obviously are not keeping up with inflation, so they might not even be able to afford rent. So very, very ominous situation in the long run, but enjoy the party while it lasts. So there's a new coffee company in California, and I should have gotten the exact city. It's called Dutch Brothers. But what's important about this is one of the guys on the YouTube channel, JB, it's got quite a bit of subscribers, and he was talking about this, and it's really alarming because what he was saying is that this is a new drive-through coffee place that just opened up, and he was just going to go try it out. So he drove over there to check it out, and he says there was almost 60 cars in line for a freaking cup of coffee. You just cannot make this stuff up. Who has the time to wait in line probably a couple hours to get a cup of coffee? I mean, this is crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. Even when you drive around the Seattle area, I'm sure probably in your area, wherever you're at, people just, they can't break their habit. People just can't break their habit. So I just don't know how do you help certain people. Certain people just have this certain mentality that is just a way of doing things despite maybe not having any income. I'm sure some of these people can't afford it. And I think some people probably are unemployed and haven't gotten an unemployment check for 2-3 months, but yet and still they're going to stand in line or sit in their car for 2 hours to get a cup of coffee. I had a client a couple months ago. Obviously, I'm not going to mention the name for privacy reasons, but this person had almost $70,000 worth of unsecured debt. And I was trying to restructure or work with creditors and counsel her and do credit coaching, all this stuff, that I definitely take pride in. And, I'm very good at, quite frankly. And she emailed me out of the blue. It was like, hey, do you think I should cut my cable bill? It's $200 a month. I'm like, what? You should have did that even before you called me. It's just people just can't get out of their own way. So enough about that. Defunding the police. So Portland, Oregon, obviously, not to mention, I'm not going to forget to mention Seattle, but I have to be careful what I say here. But my point is this. It's really bad in Portland. It's really bad in Seattle and all the things that are going on in terms of people advocating defunding the police and bringing more social workers or have social workers integrated with the police. But it's really getting bad in Portland to the point where some of the downtown businesses in the Portland area are starting to hire their own private security because they just can't rely on the police to respond in a timely fashion because they are stretched thin themselves in terms of responding to priority calls. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this defunding thing, I think people are there's a lack of intellectual honesty when you talk about that topic because our mindsets and the way we think and what we say under stress really indicates how we feel about something. So stay with me on this one. If your mother, God forbid, falls down and she's elderly or she clenches her chest, right? you're going to call 911. You're going to be looking for that fire truck or paramedics to show up at your house as quickly as possible to render medical aid, right? But I can't imagine somebody saying, you come out of the store and somebody carjacks you and you say, oh my God, you need to call a social worker. Where's my behavioral science specialist at, right? That's not your mindset when you're a victim of a crime or if there's something that's threatening your livelihood or your life. You think you need to dial 911. I need the police, and I need the police here ASAP. No one has the mindset. I don't even think you can train the mindset at this point to say when you're under stress or if somebody breaks in your house in the middle of the night, you're like, oh my God, I can't wait till my social worker gets here. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I have to be very careful with the words I choose on that particular topic, but is there room for reform? Edification in terms of training and patience and things like that, and dealing with multicultural, all these type of things, absolutely. But just to totally just take away the teeth of law enforcement, I don't think that's going to serve communities well in the short and definitely not in the long run. So once again, a little bit of a different video here, but I just wanted to get it out. You know my motto, please pay down your debt before your debt gets a hold of you, and my simple company tagline: consumer and business debt relief. And I'll see you guys in the next video.